And we are live. Happy to have everyone back here on the stream. This is your favorite moderator from MRP Horns here. I have sitting in the room with me a return guest since last time. That is Tabs. Say hello to all of our friends here.
Hey, hey.
Okay, in case you guys don't remember, Tabs doesn't understand any of this shit at all because he's not a fucking retard like most of you guys, okay? He has his own problems, but they're not related to attracting women or having sex. So he is here to provide that other side of the perspective. Also here on the stream tonight, we are hopefully going to have, and it looks like we do have, Three Kinds of Lucky. Welcome to the party.
Howdy, howdy. Good to see you again, Hans. Hopefully we can push through despite some technical difficulties.
Yes, I have to press a button every single time I want to hear you talk. So this is going to prove to be an interesting live stream. I've got one hand on the mixing board and one hand on the mouse. So I don't know. I've had my hands in weirder spots.
Can you put a weight on it?
Joining live tonight, we also have Praxology. So great to have you here as well, sir. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, and if you guys are not familiar with Prax, he is one of the moderators at, I wouldn't even call it our sister sub, but a spin-off of MRP called RPC. If you're interested and you love God, you might want to go check that shit out. But he brings another perspective tonight. So I thought we would jump right in to begin. We had 5 requests this evening. I had one in particular I'd like to talk about, but I will begin by sharing my screen. So we'll pull that bad boy up in just a moment. Okay, and we are live. Can everybody see the screen all right? I suppose it's new Reddit, so it's actually kind of bad. But here we are.
Yeah, you're good to go, Hans.
Okay, I'm still going to press this little red button I have next to me the entire stream. But we're going to go ahead and dive right in. And if I go hop over here, let's just start taking a look at who volunteered themselves this week. All right, so we'll come to the comments. But before we get started here, I thought I would ask Tabs, anything interesting happened in your life in the last week or two?
Anything interesting? Anything noteworthy? I had some really good sex.
Well, that's always great.
Yeah,
You're pretty good at that.
That's about it.
Yeah, it's going to be just fine. Right. Okay. All right. So let's pop right in. There is one guy in particular I would just like to note that says he would like to be pummeled. I want to take this shit all the way. I got plenty of lube, so fuck.
Yeah, I don't love that personally. It's just it's the whole Catholic confession sort of thing, right? Like, please forgive me because I'm terrible. I want to be told how bad I am.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's not that difficult to decipher some of these, but you know what? Let's go see you, Huckleberry. Where are you at here? All right. Where is your Own Your Shit? Here it is, the latest one. Okay, so it's a #1 guy. So, Tabs, bring in the loop. Guys find us and they come and they post their Own Your Shit in a set of notes. I know you're learning, and this is really fucking stupid because it sounds like a bunch of retards on the internet, which it actually is. And then they come and they listen to us talk about themselves as if we have some prolific advice that we have to offer. But I like to think that maybe we're just simple guys that kind of get it. And these guys have a lot of difficulty just getting it and making logic work in their favor. So this is a guy that apparently is brand new. He is on Own Your Shit #1. I don't normally do these because there's lots of guys that come in and they join and then, they never really return. They may do like 3 or 4 weeks of hard work and then they, fucking lays off, right? But let's see what he's up to. So this is a twofer since it's, oh God, some of these guys. All right, Three Kinds of Lucky. Do you have any opinion on guys that decide to write, 2 whole entire fucking Reddit limit characters for their first OYS?
If you can't say it in a few words, then there's something wrong with you, because in the end, people feel the need, especially the first, to give their whole background story as to how I got here. This is my story. This is what happened to me, and this is where I'm at now. And I really want you guys to have a read of this and understand where I'm coming from. But in reality, we see this shit all the time. It's the same stories, so we don't really need to read your whole fucking Batman origin story to understand where you're at. And frankly, I don't really care. So rather than starting with that shit, how about you go, I've read the sidebar, I've started implementing some of these things, so this is what's happened so far for me. That would be a much better first on your shit for me to read, because then you've actually started doing something. I don't give a fuck what your Batman origin story is. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Nobody cares. And the sooner you realize that nobody here gives a shit and you're not special, the better off you'll be, because you're not special. We're all just fucking random fucking dudes, and no one really cares about your fucking life story, dude. So yeah, don't write it.
That is exactly what I was going to say. Like, you're not fucking special. There's like probably, I don't know, about 4 different kinds of guys who arrive in our little space in our corner. Those 4 types of guys are pretty well documented with the different types of captains. They're all drunk captains. But go back, I think there's a post out there that talks about the 3 types of captains, and then I think a 4th one came about that was called the career beta. So we put a lot of terms to this kind of stuff tabs, but when we talk about a career beta, these are guys that probably had one girlfriend in high school, never really had a lot of success with women in some regards, and they appease and put pussy on a pedestal their entire life, and they've never known anything different. Those kind of guys are, I don't know, they're probably maybe 40%, I would say. I don't know. Three kinds of lucky. What do you think? What are the percentages of like those career beta guys that show up?
I'd say it's probably the vast majority. I wouldn't say as in above 40%. I reckon that's probably a pretty good number. I mean, we're not out here doing fucking stats on this shit, but I think more people than not who start are the ones who are shit from the get-go, never had any success with women, and trying to figure out where they went wrong.
Yeah, and so I'd love to get a little bit of perspective from Prax here as well. So I'll toss that same question to you, which is, what are your observations of guys? You're a little bit younger, I would say, than the normal MRPer we would find. I mean, what are the things that guys that are in their mid-20s say right now are struggling with? Are they mostly all career betas? Can you walk me through that, just a little bit of what you see from that generation?
Yeah, they they're not betas because they're not even getting women. Most of the guys that we just had this whole shit show over on our PC about guys pissing and moaning about their girlfriends not, or whatever, the girlfriends or dates not being virgins. So they're like way before any of this stuff even comes up.
Wait. We have guys complaining about their girlfriends not being virgins?
Oh, it's the dark ages. This is like, we're way back. So we're boiling from ground zero. Yeah.
That's
Well,
hilarious.
That's pretty.
That's the old TradCon dream that these guys are like, oh, but my TradCon dream, it's not worked out. Turns out women actually go and do things before they meet me. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic, right? That women arrive on the altar without having another cock in them at some point. So I don't really know why we're talking about this, but I just find it maybe interesting of why guys are feeling like they need to do that. So let's continue. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled program if everyone is all right for that. Okay, so let's just take a look at this guy really quick. So the stats: he's 40 years old, 5'6", 158 pounds, 14% body fat. You're fucking lying. Married. His wife is 40. I don't care how old your wife it is. You've been married 20 years. That's all I want to know. What have you done on the sidebar? You've read No More Mr. Guy Sky, Married Man, Sex Life Partner, Rational. Okay, so you've done. Oh, you read a bunch of my Own Your Shit posts, most top posts. Okay, okay. So you're trying to do the work. Your bench, decline bench. Like, what's your regular bench? What the fuck? Like, why don't you just put your bench? He had to put decline bench. Like,
that's because you can lift the most weight on the decline. So
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
bang on.
Decline
Tabs
is
gets
like,
it.
you know,
Oh,
I'm really benching.
Oh yeah, because I'm just moving my arms up and down, right? Basically, yeah. Okay, all right. Why don't you post back your real bench, or maybe you don't really bench because you probably have an excuse in here somewhere about why you couldn't lift. Let me just check if you've got some excuse. Okay, I took the basic advice seriously. I lifted. Shut the fuck up. I got a personal trainer. Okay, let me talk about personal trainers for a minute. Personal trainers are a fucking crock of shit. I'm sorry. Their number one goal is to keep you uninjured. Okay. And if you are just lifting for the first time in your life, you need to be lifting heavy shit and putting it back down again. Only prescription I would give a guy. Pick up the heaviest shit you can, put it back down on the ground, and then pick it back up again. And a trainer will not coach you to do that because they will lose you as a client. I hate to say it that way. Now, trainers are great for guys who have no idea what to do. Get in there. Maybe you need that little motivational push. You need to throw some money at it. I don't know.
Technique.
It's not a long-term thing. The only thing that I've ever used a trainer for was to do spot checks while I was already in the gym, and I'd had to pay him for that. Right? There's plenty of YouTube videos out there on learning proper form. You can read the book Starting Strength, right? That's all about the barbell. Highly recommend that.
They have apps that you can download as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which apps do you use? Do you mind telling us?
Muscle. Let me find out for you right now. But I want to get the correct name. Just don't want to call it the Muscle app. Muscle Booster.
Muscle Booster.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see what he has to say. Continuing on. Started eating in gains of about 2 months ago and made great progress. And I added 6 pounds of muscle. Okay. This is one of the reasons I'm posting my first one now. I had an injury that had to be taken care of. I fucking told you that this guy would talk about an injury. You want to know why dumb fucks here come? They always show up and they're fucking scared. They're fucking scared like little pussies of fucking internet strangers. And they don't want to post their lifts, right? And that's the number one thing that we ask them to do, Tabs. We're like, where are you? Like, are you doing the fucking work or are you not? Right? Because the number one thing that these guys need to take care of the most is they're not attractive. They're just not attractive guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if they can fix that, like 80% of their problems are solved. The way they carry themselves, the way that they are able to accomplish something hard for once in their life. You're the only one who can lift that barbell. Like nobody's going to help you. And that's a huge mind shift change for guys. So we tell him to post their lifts. And then he has to go and post his decline bench. And I knew immediately when I saw that he was going to post some shit about, oh, well, I did have to go over an injury for a while. You know that guy at the gym? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, man, I blew my shoulder out.
Every time.
You meet that guy.
Yeah.
Because he sees you next to him and you're just repping, 2-3 plates on the bench.
It kind of brings your energy down.
Yeah, it does bring your energy down.
Yeah.
Those guys suck.
Yeah.
But this guy right here has such a fucking ego. He was scared to get into OYS. He says so there. And you want to know why he does this and he tells you about his injury? Is because he's fucking protecting his little baby ass ego. Because he knows someone might pick on his lifts because it's his first time in here. And if somebody says, you fucking dumb fuck, what do you have with your fucking decline bench? What the hell is that? Post your real bench, which is what I just said. He can go back and he can say, oh, I had an injury. Right? And that's some pussy ass shit. So I'm done with this guy. Unless Three Cons of Lucky would like to disagree with me and he would like to say, yeah, let's keep talking about this guy. What do you think?
He got as far as lifting and he's already out. Yeah, look, everything you said I agree with. I don't really have an issue if you want to go to someone else.
All right, I guess maybe that was a little bit of a rant. Oh well. All right. So hey man, that's why you suck, right? And you've probably been doing this your whole life. Anytime you put your ass out there and you have to accomplish something and you have to actually produce results, you always have something in your back pocket that says, well, if I fail, it wasn't my fault. I got injured. Like, fuck you, man. Like, completely fuck this guy. Like, this is like, I hope you quit. I hope you really quit. I really do. Because these guys right here, like, I'm not even fucking joking. All right, Three Cons of Lucky, when we're done with this, I would like you to rule something, ban him, because I don't want to talk to that guy anymore. Okay.
I'm sure
right,
I can find an appropriate
so
rule.
let's see. Someone would like to be dissected. Okay. Out of my mind, 3. You're about to get dissected. Here it is. Oh, we have an older gentleman, Tabs. And he is about 14 weeks in. So let's figure this one out. His stats: he's 50 years old. He's been married 24 years. He's got 2 kids, almost an empty nester, 6'2", 185, body fat 11.6. Let's see if, let's just see. I bet somebody's probably called him out. Where's his lifts? Bench press 215, leg press 4. I don't care about. Okay, your leg press. Okay, so maybe you are 11.6 at 6'2" and 1180 and 185. But would you say this guy probably needs to gain weight at 185 and 6'2"?
No,
he's all right. He probably looks okay for 50. Right? He's not gonna be.
No, he's where he needs to be.
He's where he needs to be.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. I wonder what his like physical makeup kind of looks like. But okay, let's go. I'm not going to listen to your nutrition or any of this shit. Career. Let's take a look. Making 2 big changes this year after consulting with the Fortune 500 CEO to increase efficiency, revenue, and profit. Like, fuck you. I'm not here to live in corporate America. Speak like a fucking dude. Okay. Any disagreement from Prax or Three Cons of Lucky? I'll give you an opportunity if you think this is bullshit.
Oh, and Prax.
No, guy just sounds like he's trying to jerk himself off.
He is trying to jerk himself off. All right. Okay, man. Like, no one fucking cares that your Fortune 500 CEO to increase efficiency, revenue, and profit. Really, no one cares. But hey, nice flex. The new software implementation was a disaster, and we had to pull the plug on it. We are working with our current software provider to add the features we want while also revamping the company website. Okay. Training this year for additional certification is boring. Fuck you. Okay, here we go. Let's just go to the marriage section. As my time and attention have been occupied at the office and elsewhere, my relationship with my wife is improving. Okay, all right. Probably some space. Yeah, maybe that's pretty natural. Sex has been frequent. And we even christened the boat. So, okay, fucked on the boat. I know many here advocate cave manning when offered starfish sex, but I have turned it down twice in the last week and had amazing sex in the day or the next day. I'm going to go to Three Cons of Lucky here if you'd like to offer a comment here. I've got an idea, but I'm wondering if you're going to get to it first.
I didn't actually have anything pop into my mind straight away. I think it's a good thing to turn down starfish sex. I'm not a caveman myself, but then I don't think I get offered starfish sex, so I've never really had that problem. But if I was not into it, I would stop. And then from what I'm seeing here, it sounds like this is a bit of a stab in the dark, but maybe she saw that she wasn't providing the goods, and then she felt like she had to dish it out properly and do a proper job of it. And if that's going along with the fact that he's not there as often at the moment, yeah, it could make some sense. But again, doesn't matter. As long as the guy's happy, he's getting laid the way he wants. Good for him.
Starfish.
Oh, wait. So ask that question again, Tabs.
What's starfish sex?
What is starfish sex? You've probably never had it. Okay. Starfish sex is when she lays on the bed. All
Probably
right.
have.
Okay. You probably have. You've had some experience. That's when the girl lays on the bed like a starfish with her legs spread and her hands out, and she's just laying there. And she's like, go ahead and get done.
No, I've never had starfish sex.
Of course, you've never had starfish sex. But you can imagine this is actually starfish sex is like super low effort, just lays there. And she's like, God, man, watching her watch, you know.
One time, starfish sex. It was
Okay.
the worst experience of my life.
Did you pay for it, though?
No.
I mean, because you can expect that when you pay for it.
No.
Yeah, man. Well, I tell you
Pay
what.
for the hotel room.
Yeah.
So yeah, I paid for it.
Yeah. Okay. So what we sometimes advocate for certain guys is that when they're wives, you got to understand, man, like these guys here, that's a regular thing for them. That starfish sex stuff. Okay. Regular occurrence, like 75% of the time. That's bad. Right. And so what we say to guys is if she's just going to lay there, caveman, like pound that shit, like whatever you want to do. Okay. Because she is a willing partner and she says stop, like you certainly should. Right. But, you know, these guys don't understand dominance at all. They don't understand that. Okay.
She might be laying there as starfish because she's bored as well. Well, she wants to be caveman. Maybe she wants to be caveman.
Well, the guys that actually follow through with it figure out a lot of times that a couple of things they kind of figure out for themselves that they like that, right? Like it's nice to just fuck,
to dominate.
Yeah, we can get into that discussion. That's going to be a long one, but I don't want to get into that one tonight. But
sure.
Yeah, how it feels to be a dominant man in bed. They've never really experienced that. Like I had to go once write a whole fucking article out there for you guys listening along, which was titled, "When was the last time you fucked your woman?" Okay. Like, when was the last time you just, went to town on her? Like, went to town on her. Most guys haven't never done it. I'd say that'd be a pretty sad woman. Wouldn't you?
I would.
Because you're the guy who does that.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Yeah.
When their husbands aren't.
No. No.
All right. Well, let's continue on. I've actually got a theory about this. Let's see if it plays out. I'm thinking this is a covert contract. I'm thinking he's doing this because he's getting something in return. So let's keep going. My view is that if it is not a hell yes, then it's a no. Okay, so you can fall into a trap here to where you need to get validation by a woman saying yes. Okay, that's a validation trap. So make sure you're just not falling into that one, buddy. In both cases this week, I simply said that's not a hell yes when offered starfish or a quickie and moved on to the next thing to do on my list. Wife initiated later in the day and on one occasion the next morning for the other. Okay, I think I'm getting there. I'm going to find it. I'm not sure if it's the 1,000-foot rope tugging, but I currently have much more attentive, affectionate, and appreciative wife that has lost 13 pounds in several weeks. Great. Okay, so I think it's worth mentioning. I can be completely off base. I don't get my bullshit meter isn't going way off here. But he says this: my wife initiated later in the day on one occasion and the next morning for the other. I think he is keeping track of this. And I think the trap that he's potentially falling into is, well, if I say no to bad sex, I will get good sex. That's what he's saying here. And I think he's fallen into this trap. I would love for the guy to be able to comment on that, say, yep, you're right on point. Yeah, I'm totally doing this. And I turn that shit down because, I think I can have good sex instead. And I know if I turn it down, the next day she'll be there giving it to me. I'll bet you that's going through his head. I don't know. 3 kinds of luck. Am I way off?
No, I think it's not an unreasonable way of looking at it. I think that's probably a fair point. And the other point as well is that he doesn't actually have sex when he wants to have sex. He only has sex when his wife enthusiastically wants to have sex with him. And I think that's a bad habit to get into as well.
Oh, that's fucking terrible. You're absolutely right. I mean, then you're 100% having sex in that girl's frame. Like, you're only having sex when she wants to have sex. She still controls the pussy, right? Like, you are not in control of a woman's pussy. You are not in control of that. But you are in control of your access to all pussy.
Fact.
Worst case scenario, $200. You got $200 in your pocket in your bank account? Yep. You got access. Like, for these guys that have been sitting around for years in these dead bedrooms.
A lot less stress.
And yeah, man. Like, maybe you just need to go. Maybe you need to actually, like, something you need. Like, maybe I think all, like, healthy men need to have regular sex. Absolutely. Yep. I mean, you got $200? Make your life better. That's what I say. I'm not advocating for that necessarily, but I'm just saying. I mean, it opens the access. Okay. Mission: lead a happy, adventurous, exciting life. Great people. That's cool. What do the comments say? He was asking about game. Yeah, there's some mystery method. Okay. All right. That guy's cool. Let's go to the next. Let's see. We now have... I would be honored if you could dissect my life and tell me why I suck. Okay. Let's pop in. Okay, he's on number 6. So he's like a month and a half in. All right, here we go. 38 years old, married, 8 years, and he has a 3-year-old kid. He's 6 foot, 201 pounds, bench 225 times 5, squat 360 times 6. Okay, so the guy lifts. I like his overhead press there. That's really nice. He's read some of the books. Great. Back on track after a diet break. God, where I basically overcomplicated the shit out and broke what works for me. I don't know what this means. You got no idea. Like, what the fuck is a diet break? I don't know. Do you go on diet breaks, 3 Kinds of Lucky?
I don't diet.
Yeah, me neither, man. Me neither at all. Tabs, do you go on diet breaks? Can you keep your chiseled physique with diet breaks?
What the fuck is a diet? What's a diet break?
I don't know what a diet break is. Is that like when you just
take a break from your diet? Like maybe he has a strict diet and he's saying, okay, now a break is like I'm letting it hang out. I'm eating all the cornbread and fucking
cornbread. Is that what you come up with? Yeah, no, he's gonna eat all the cornbread he can.
Potatoes, all the
Yeah, I don't know. I think
maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
he's lean.
Yeah,
so he's lean. So maybe he knows what to eat. Maybe he's just taking a break, saying, "I'm gonna just let it hang out. I'm gonna have a cheat month."
Yeah. Yeah. Guys don't get a break.
Yeah.
You don't get a break. Right. That's what these guys need to understand. They've taken breaks their whole fucking life. They do not need to take a break now. Like, they're trying to instill good habits.
Discipline.
And this guy is how far in? He's 6 weeks in. And he's like, I'm back on track after I took a, quote, diet break, which is just a way for him to shield the fact that he's like, I was a fat fuck for a couple weeks, or I didn't eat enough for a couple weeks. He just can't say that. He's got to come out and he's got to say, I'm on a diet break. Like, so faggy. So faggy when
I was
guys
giving
do
him the benefit of the doubt.
No.
You exposed him.
No, what did he say? He said, where I basically overcomplicated the shit out and it broke what works for me. I don't, look, man, were you trying something new? Then just say that. Just say that, man. If you're trying something new, just say that. Don't try to BS us. I don't know. Okay, game. My wife continues to be frigid. I went out solo one night this week and a few half-assed openers, but nothing direct or solid. I will keep exposing myself to this environment and read bang after day bang. Okay. I think day game will be more suited for me. Of course, there's a massive approach anxiety and wondering what to even say to open that is worth saying. Okay, so Tabs, I'd like to talk to you about this, like opening girls. right? Do you still honestly get that approach anxiety?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's fair. I still get approach anxiety. Does it ever go away?
No.
Do you like that it never goes away? Or do you wish you could
I'm
get
just
rid of
used
it?
to it. No, I wish I could used to. I wish that it would go away, went away, but it never goes away.
No. And so I think you just have to get comfortable.
I think we innately, we just fear rejection. So if we think we might get it rejected, we get a little, anxious.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And it's, more and more what I see is men are super afraid to approach women. And if you can just battle through that little bit of uncomfortableness.
See yourself as a hunter. It's how you see yourself. See yourself as a hunter. This is
Yeah.
the wild. You know what I mean? That's how I see myself. You know, if I really want something, she could be with her mom. And I mean, if you watch Natural Geographic, that lion didn't give a damn how much of the family of zebras is around. When he's honed in, you got to get it. He got to get it.
So here we are. We got the lion coming in.
Self-image.
Yeah. So the only way to get better at that is by how did you get better at it? How'd you get better at getting through that stuff?
Not giving a damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't give a fuck.
What does that girl owe you? What do you owe her?
Yeah. She doesn't owe me anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't owe me a damn thing.
And so, I mean, if you get done with her, is there another opportunity?
Yeah, opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
You just can't expect. We have this. Can't expect that she's going to get that we're going to get a response. We deserve a response.
We don't. You don't deserve.
No.
You don't deserve shit.
Yeah.
You ain't worth shit.
There you go.
You ain't shit. So why do you give a fuck?
I don't even give a fuck.
I'm with you on that one. That's the way I've always thought about it. I've never. I want to say I've never had a high level of approach anxiety, but I still feel it. If I'm, hanging out, and when somebody comes up to me, that's not hard ever. But having to approach someone, that's hard still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So what I would say is at bats. You got to have more at bats.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be good at it, that's a skill, right? You got to figure out what works, what doesn't work. I would actually love to hear Praxology's take on game and what guys are doing, in their mid-20s now. And then I'd like to respond to kind of what I see. And so can you take us through, are guys even learning game nowadays?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, there's a number of guys that I've actually had to personally start coaching on how, when I'm going out to Latin clubs or something, how to actually approach a girl. And even with that being said, there's so much, guys get so tense about it or they'll get rejected. And it's at the end of the day, it's just a funny story that you can bring back and tell somebody else. If some girl blows your spot up, I think I've told you the story before about when Barracuda and I went. I think we tried to pick a couple girls up, and there was just this one troll, just this angry little woman who was asking us super weird questions about why we were trying to pick her and her 8 friends up, and it's you're a weirdo. Get away from us. So we just took her drunk friends aside. That said, no, I don't think guys are really learning anything about game. It's nightmare for younger guys because they're stupid.
That's quite funny,
I was
actually.
Going to tell you that I never see. Actually, Taps. Let me ask you this: do you ever see 20-something guys approaching girls nowadays?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I don't see younger guys approaching girls their age or older or anything.
They approach them through Snapchat now. They approach them online now.
Yeah. That's how they first engage with them. Is that how they're getting over that approach anxiety, you think?
Yeah, it's easier to send a message.
Yeah.
A message on the app or, a direct message. You know what I mean?
Holy shit. You're absolutely right. I've got a really good story about this. So my son, came to me 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, guess what? I went on a date twice. One on Saturday and one on Monday." And I was like, "That's awesome, man. Like, what's her name?" And he was like, he was like getting embarrassed and stuff. So I just kind of let the conversation drop, right? And then later, we were doing some stuff together, just spending time together. And I was like, "Hey, man, like, it's like bite my ass. I gotta know, like, who's the girl?" And he goes, "Oh, it's, I'm gonna make up a name. It's I don't know, Ashley, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I remember her." And he was like, "Yeah, I figured you would." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." I said, "Do you mind if I ask you?" I said, How did you do it, man? How'd you ask her out?" You know what he said to me? He said, "Oh, I sent her a meme."
Look at that. Look at that.
Sent her a fucking meme. And I was like, "Why did you do that?" And he was like, "Oh, because if I sent it to her and I could still get out of it and save some face and be like, 'Oh, I was just joking with you.'"
Nah, that's how he deals with his anxiety.
Yeah. And so that's what he did. And now the girl responded in kind, and he took it from there. Right. But that's how a very young man, he's a very young man. Right. That's how he approached a girl. So my point to telling all this story is the following. If you're a fairly good looking guy that can approach women and you want to be good at game, like, they're fucking begging for it. This is not a hard thing to do right now. No guys are approaching. You could be a 40-year-old guy and you can run circles around all the 25-year-old buff motherfuckers because they ain't got no game. They never learned it. They did it through fucking memes. And if you've got the old-fashioned way of approach and getting over that approach anxiety and leaning into that most uncomfortable feeling in the world, like, that's worth something to me.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my thought on game in the modern age. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, okay. Interesting. First words are marriage. I went Rambo. I think I described Rambo to you. I've never talked to you about Rambo. Rambo's super fucking simple. There's a bunch of buttons in front of you, and they all are labeled certain things. And these guys know these terms, so I'll kind of say them. They're called like agree and amplify. You can press that button and you're cocky funny, right? Or there's another button there that says take away your time and attention. Or there's another button there that says draw clear boundaries. Or another button there that says leave the fucking house for the gym every night at 7:30. There's a button. There's all these buttons you can push, right, to becoming your own man. And Rambo looks at like 50 buttons there, and he presses them all at once, like totally uncalibrated. Okay. And so what ends up happening is he blows up his fucking life. Let's find out. Okay. I went Rambo, was riddled with covert contracts and pissed at my situation for over a year. Probably more like 3 if I had the awareness. I was then filed for divorce earlier than I should have to shortcut whipping her into shape. Okay. So guy files for divorce hoping to whip his wife in shape. What a dumb fucking idea. What a dumb idea. God, okay. No point dwelling on details, but there's a good chance she has emotionally moved on or is working on it. Well, I mean, okay, why are you writing about this? I don't give a shit about her and her feelings. Okay. I've put the work and many sleepless nights to not give a fuck and focus on myself, and I'm not quite there yet. I'm much calmer, and I just go for a walk. What? Okay. Let's just keep going. This is bullshit. Like, don't. This is crap. One day this week, she came back from the trip and told me, I want to go ahead with the divorce. Okay, cool. That's what I'd say. I'll miss you, babe. That's a good thing, man. You know how to handle threats of divorce. I want to talk about this real quick. Like, some guys will say, well, you know what? I'll actually toss it to one of the other guys here on the stream today. 3 Kinds of Lucky. How would you handle a threat of divorce from your wife pre-arm MRP and post MRP?
Oh gosh, having trouble with the mute button there. Well, that's the first start. So pre-MRP, I would have begged her to not leave. I would have asked if there's anything I can do. Is there any way we can sort this out? What's required from me? Can we go to counselling? Is there anything I can do to try to salvage this relationship? Post MRP, I'd probably just say, oh, sorry to hear that. Best of luck in your life. Yeah, and let's just get this sorted as easily and quickly as possible. Because what else is there to do? If the choice has been made, then that's it. Like, I'm not sticking around.
Yeah. My response pre MRP probably would have been very similar. I never really got to that point before I found this little fucking spot. My life was not in complete fucking shambles. I had just saw repeating patterns happening in my relationships and knew that, okay, like I've seen this before. Like I've seen women before that get depressed. And why are they always depressed with me? Like, am I picking women that are bad? Or I actually sat down one day and I was like, this kind of shit, life doesn't repeat itself. And I'd saw the patterns enough with women and how they eventually interacted with me to say, this has got to be a me thing. And this is no longer a them thing. Like I think I've probably got some ownership in this. Like I can understand if you got like one bad one, right? But I was starting to see the same type of behaviors over and over in every long-term relationship that I'd been in. I don't know. Have you experienced that, Tabs? Have you seen the same type of behaviors from the women you've been with?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think it's pretty hard for guys to look at that bad shit that happens in a relationship.
Take ownership.
You don't have to take ownership of the relationship, to be clear. You just take ownership of your part in it. And maybe if you were with a cheating whore once, and then you were with another cheating whore, and then you were with another cheating whore, you might start to think maybe either one, all women are like that, which I don't think so, or maybe my behavior is affecting those around me in a negative way for me. Right? You got to be in control of your own destiny when it comes to this shit. For the most part, things within your own control anyway. And you control whether you're with a cheating whore or not. Like always. There was a comment today that I saw from a guy. I think it was Dunlop 60. So if you're listening in, he talked about TFA, which stands for the Family Alpha. Guys, I mean, you can go read that shit, but God, man, the guy's a fucking cuck. His wife went and cheated on him, and he's there still with her. Took her back. I don't know. Tabs, could you ever be with a woman who cheated on you?
No.
Why?
That's a breach of trust. You know, it's a breach of trust, and it's because I've been on both sides. Well, I've been on both sides. You know what I mean? Like when you have, it's not so much if a dude fucked your woman. It's how she felt mentally about that man that fucked her. You know what I mean? That I couldn't deal with. But
that is absolutely right.
But the short answer is no, I couldn't be with a woman who cheated. Once she fucks him, she got it. That's his now. She's for the streets.
She's for the streets. I like that. No, that's legit. So yeah, there's that aspect. 100% agree. The other aspect about this is that woman will never respect you ever again, no matter what you do. Okay. If you ever take that woman back and you put her back down, you have essentially said, I'm willing to accept this behavior.
Yes.
And if you say that, that is like the fucking nail in the coffin, right? For any relationship with a woman. You say you can get away with this. What do you think is going to fucking happen? What do you think is going to happen? She can get away with it. At best, She only does it once, but she'll never respect you. Anyway,
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Never respect you again, no matter what you do.
I've seen it where the woman didn't respect the man ever again. Like, once she just laid low for a bit.
Yeah.
As soon as she was in the clear, she was back to her old.
Yeah, back to her old shit. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right. So his wife came to him and says, I want to go ahead with a divorce. I tried to analyze why, or if it was a shitty comfort test, but fuck it. I'm not even getting a fraction of what I want from my own marriage. So I agreed to it and instantly started getting to work. Something tells me you're angry, man. You're just kind of angry. Like if you realized it might have been a shitty comfort test, like you couldn't even take the fucking breath. Like you had to just respond to it right away. I agreed to it instantly. You know who also does shit instantly all the time? Take a wild guess. Who acts on their feelings all the time, dude? Yeah, we know who. It's okay. Well, maybe you're in the right place. Maybe not. Maybe you need a boyfriend. Take care of that instant feeling and gratification you have. You're just fucking pissed. So I'm very happy with what I've achieved in 3 years, despite my marriage being in a shit state. Okay. Yo-yo dieting between two, now comfortable. Okay. So now I just want to point this out, and I'm done with this guy. That right after he talks about something like agreeing instantly to a divorce and saying, fuck it, I'll get divorced. And then immediately launches into how happy he is of the things he's achieved in the last 3 years.
Come on, you got to read this one.
Which one?
Quit most cheap.
Quit this one?
Yes.
Quit most cheap dopamine, computer games, weed, alcohol, TV series, social media.
No,
I've had a lapse with porn in the last week of sexual frustration. I'll stop that this week and try to transform the energy into something else or just move out and pursue other women. Dude, that dude is so fucking mad. Doesn't he sound mad?
Sounds mad.
He sounds mad as hell. He's like, fine, you want to divorce me? I'm going to go jack off.
If that don't work.
And if that don't work, I'm going to jack off again. Like, fuck.
I'll move out and pursue other women.
I'm going to move out. I'm going to pursue other women with my rosy palm.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll show you, bitch. Yeah. Look at this. Look at the ego in this fucking shit, man. Oh, look. Look at the next line. I dealt with tons of anger issues, starting with my wife and then myself. Bullshit. You are so angry. This guy is so angry that you want to know what he threatened divorce with his wife to whip her into shape. And then she started like whipping into shape. He's like, yeah, I got this shit covered. I got my diet on point. I doubled my salary. I quit all the cheap dopamine. I'm the fucking shit. And she comes back to that guy and she's like, listen, just in probably a fucking comfort test, like a test. She's like, I think I thought about it. Man, I think maybe I won't get to the divorce now. And his ego is so fucking bruised that he had to be like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, let's go. Fuck yeah. And then immediately talks about all the great shit in his life. This guy's so transparent. All right, well, praxology, we'll give you a toss of your bone. What do you think? Anything else on this guy before we move on?
Yeah, highlight the part where he says, so I agreed to it instantly and started getting to work. And then he immediately goes on to say that his marriage is in a shit state. It's like he's in a weird position where he's saying that he's recognized the end of his relationship, and then literally in the very next breath, he's saying that it's in a salvageable position. It's like you just agreed to divorcing her. Like you can't even hold on. You're not even holding fast to a decision that you have made. I mean, if you jump into his finance section too, like it's a nightmare. This guy's like borderline manic.
Ego big as a motherfucker.
Ego is
Yeah, he's
big
got
as a motherfucker. Yeah, what
jelly
about his
beans in his
finance? I'll
head.
just pop in there. I make good money, but my finances have gone to shit. I sacrificed too much in an attempt to quickly create financial freedom and fucked myself with the market situation. Yeah, he's fucking out of control. He's just throwing
Yeah.
money fucking around. He doesn't know what he's doing. He probably does it on a fucking whim, very impulsively, very instantly, very with fucking emotion. I mean, this is fucking money we're talking about. It should be the most non-emotional thing in your life. You should know where that money's coming from, where it's going to, and the things you got to do all the way in between. It's not that fucking hard. But this guy, like, can't even manage his own shit. Yeah, no wonder, man. You're here on number 6. You're like a month and a half in. You think you fucking, read all the fucking sidebar. Which, by the way, you haven't read a book on the sidebar, The Way of the Superior Man, which I want to talk in a little bit about. But listen, man, like, you're done. Yeah, his marriage is done. He's just gonna keep fucking blowing shit up, which is fine. Like, if his marriage is done, and that's great for him, he probably thinks it's great. Truth is, he's just blowing shit up. He's pressing every fucking button.
I don't think he wants it to be over.
Of course he doesn't. If he didn't, you know what? If he wanted to be over, this shit would have been 1 sentence or 2 sentences. Wife came to me and said she wanted to get divorced. I said, okay. And that's it. That's all. But no. He did the fucking hamburger technique on us. I want to point this out. You know what the hamburger technique is? All right. So it's taught in education a lot. What you do is you got the bun and then the meat and then the bun. Okay, and I guarantee you we can go back through this and see how he did this. It's a psychological way to trick the ego, okay? And we do this when we teach kids. And so what we do is we give a little bit of the bread. Hey, Johnny, I really loved how you drew that sun on that piece of paper. But Johnny, houses don't have blue doors. And I think you can draw a better door next time. But the grass you've got down there, beautiful. Great drawing here. And you see what I just did? This is a manipulative technique, by the way, too. And a lot of people do it very subconsciously. So they give you the bread. Johnny, the sun was great. The meat, you can't draw a house worth of shit. And the other part of the bun. The grass looks green. And when you tell it to people like that, they tend to hear something great, not so great, and then great. And so they leave on feelings, okay? Now, we already analyzed this, and he put the shit in the middle, which was I just said I'm going to agree to the divorce. And then at the bottom, he puts all the good shit. That's the bottom of the bun. Let's see if we can find the top of the bun up here. I'm just curious. Here we go. There it is right there. The last sentence going into the shit section. Things have massively improved internally in the last 2 weeks. I'm having an awesome time doing what I want, both with and without family. I'm doing the 60 days of dread and the gym and the social life is all going great. There's the bun. Here's the meat. And there's the other bun right in here. Fuck you. Look, I do this for a living. I'm not do this shit for a living, but I have to know how to read people. 3 Kinds of Lucky. Did you ever seen people do that before?
It's the most common way to present and own your shit that's got bad stuff in it.
Absolutely is.
Yeah, it's very common.
More.
All right, I got to take off anyway, boys. So
let's say,
take care.
What do we want to do? We want to do one more, guys? Okay. All right. We are back finally. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. We are going to share our screen. We're going to open up a new tab. We're moving on to the questions section of the OYS Equally. We asked guys if they had particular questions they'd like to ask the panel tonight, what that content would be. So let's take a look and see what this guy has to say. So he linked it to a Ask MRP that he made. And here is the question. He says, when touch is not an option. Hi, I'm 35, 5'6", 175. I'm a drunk captain married for 11 years. Last month, I read No More Mr. Nice Guy and blah, 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 and some sidebar. Okay, great. I am an Orthodox Jew. So I don't touch my wife during her period until she dunks in a ritual bath. Okay. All right. I'm not making fun yet, man. Okay. Flirtatious touch has worked with her in the past, but now it's not available to me. Initiating, in quotation marks, meaning initiating sex, is not really a thing. It would require her to count 7 clean days and then go to the mikvah. Any ideas on what game and initiations would look like? I appreciate all the responses. I want to know if I'm just a fat retard or you guys don't owe me anything. I'm actually curious what the responses are from other folks first. Someone says, what's her number? I offer ritual baths, but prices vary.
Outstanding.
Get the fuck out of here with your ritualistic BS. I don't know. Okay, let's read these. Are sometimes funny. Have you tried being less fat? Oh, let's see. Here we go. Oh, let's keep going. Out of curiosity, what does "I don't touch my wife" mean?
Is it?
They don't get it. They don't get it. We'll explain it in a second. Hi, I'm wondering if anyone can see this. Yeah, it was auto-modded. Here we go. What are your lips? Right, asking the lifts. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. You, E. McGill, one of the OG mods here of this, responded to you should feel very thankful. He says, I used to fuck an Orthodox Jew in the ass because she didn't want to get pregnant by a Gentile. Okay. It's amazing how conservative religious women will use the shield of orthodoxy to justify having or not having sex. But she wore white on her wedding. Oh,
she was chaste on her wedding.
That is fucked. That is royally fucked to hear it like that. But it's true. Okay. All right. So for those not in the know of what an Orthodox Jew, what this means to them, we've had a couple guys in MRP come through that have been Orthodox Jews in the past. So basically, they can't touch their wife while they're on their period, and they can't touch them for another week after the period is over. There's a whole ritual revolved around this where they have to like take clean napkins and like all this shit. I don't know why I know this, but maybe because I was interested in it when the first guy showed up, which was an Orthodox Jew, and I was like, what the fuck? You got to like test for this, and people have to approve, and like it's some crazy shit. Okay. Anyway, very ritualistic, but. This is what I say. I say that if you believe God intended for you not to enjoy women to the point you can't even touch them for 50% of your life, which is 2 weeks out of a month, that'll sound like a pretty cool God to me, man. I don't know. What do you think, Tabs?
I don't like that doctrine. That doesn't sit well with me.
Okay, this is an interesting one that we can actually kick over here to Praxology with the Orthodox Jew. What do you tell these guys? Tell me, man.
I guess you can pull a King Solomon and just get a bunch of women. So you can just you can map their periods out. You have like one wife this week, and then while the other ones are on their period, and then you like shift that one over.
They start sinking after a while, though. That's what I hear.
Yeah, well, you're thinking too small. That's like 1 or 2.
Oh, so you need like 5 or 6? Is that the advice
you just
here?
Keep going. Yeah, just keep going.
You have 7, so you don't have to worry about that issue.
Right. Yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna stop sharing that screen there because let's just talk about this for a minute. Guys, listen. I'm pretty sure if you're Orthodox Jew, we're gonna have you're tapping into a resource for men's sexual strategy, and game is game, and not keeping a woman, but being attractive all the time and not having sex, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't want to cuck myself to God for 50% of my life. Like, and neither do most of the guys who arrive here. Maybe there's some folks out there that can help you, but I probably can't. I really can't. I can't imagine living my life like that.
No. That doesn't even feel right.
It doesn't feel like anything at all for half of the month.
It just made me tense to think about it.
Yeah, man, you start itching already, right? Yeah, that's a little difficult to digest. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the next question, which is this one might be interesting for us to talk about, and then we'll probably call it a night. But let's go ahead and share out this question. All right. So he says, this is probably a retarded question, but it was on my mind. How do I deal with a wife who mirrors alpha or assertive behaviors? As I've been absorbing things from these books, I noticed the wife emulating them in her interactions with me. This is not what I want as I try to establish myself as the leader in the relationship. Currently, I laugh it off, but I can see this becoming problematic. A wife who mirrors the same behavior of her husband. Actually, that sounds to me like the wife actually getting pretty smart. And the reason why she's getting pretty smart is because you're obviously a pretty shitty leader. If your wife's taking cues from you and she's going, oh yeah, that's pretty good, I'll use that on him later. Like taking it in like, oh, okay, yeah, he brought this cute little thing home. I think I'll try that next time. Right.
She's only going to try what she knows works, though.
Mm-hmm.
Had to work on somebody working on her. So she's like, this has to work on his ass.
Yeah, you're absolutely fucking right. So the things that my wife used to do, like, don't even happen remotely anymore. Back so I haven't told you the whole story, right? But she's would self-admit she's a pretty bad bitch. Right. And it was, I wouldn't say it's my fault. I don't like placing the thing at fault, but I had some contribution of my container was a piece of shit. So anything that you would have put in it woman-wise would have probably been looking like shit. But this guy here, he's trying to assert some new behaviors under the premise. I want to be clear about this. This is your problem, dude. You're doing all of this because you're trying to establish yourself as the leader in the relationship. And this is why. This is Dancing Monkey 101. You're doing all of this for her. You're trying to establish your dominance within your woman's frame, which is the fucking relationship. And the relationship is not your job. That's what you'd say, Tabs, wouldn't you? The relationship is her job.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're a man that can select women and you have options, I mean, you're only as good as your options. Why the fuck do you care about being the leader in a relationship? I don't really care about that. My wife just defaults to me for leadership because I'm pretty good at it. So I don't know what this shit is. I don't know, man. You're doing this. The reason why she's mocking you basically and doing those same masculine behaviors is because she knows that you're trying to establish yourself as the leader in the relationship, and it doesn't like that. She doesn't like that because your fucking balls have been in her purse and she can spend them anytime she wants. You know what shoots out of your balls? Money. It's come every now and then if you're lucky. And that's the way that guy views himself. Thinks he's lucky. Like, matter of fact, since we got a little bit of time, let's look at this guy. So I guarantee you, if he's posted an OYS, let's see. No, I don't see anything. He hadn't even. Let's see if he's got any comments here. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. On your shit one. 35, 5'9", 75 kilograms. I think that's like what, 1.7. I don't know. I don't want to do that. Anyway, let's just see. Mindset. I quit porn and fapping a month ago. Okay. Okay. That's cool, man. I'm gonna reply to this right now. You've been banned for fapping. Oh, we gotta put the special sauce on it. What do I gotta do? Oh, I can distinguish it, turn it green. Okay, man, here's the thing. You're on number 1 and you just got banned. And I want to tell you why. It says don't ever say fapping again. Call it what it is. You're miserable. And you jack off. Reason for the ban. He doesn't have any self-control. Let's see. We won't make it permanent, dude. It's cool. Yeah, 123 days. Sounds good. Okay. Cool. See you later, man. Hey, great question. I'm glad I went and looked at that guy, right? Look, this is something I don't do, guys. If you're ashamed of a behavior, call it what it is. At least have the fucking balls to stand up and don't say some word like fapping, like some stupid funny word. People say that word because it's funny. And it's not funny, man. Like if you want to start having more sex and stop jacking off less and start jacking off less, and you realize there might be some correlation to that, right? Then just call it what it is. But that guy was embarrassed about it. And I don't have room for that. That's hiding behind words. You know? Like I masturbated, man. I told myself I wouldn't like call it jacking off, call it something else other than some funny little word on the internet. Like I ain't doing that. So with that said, Tabs, I suggested a book to you a few weeks ago after we did this live stream together, and we were very happy to have you on. And do you want to talk about that book? I didn't think you would read it. I thought you would think it wasn't for you.
No, it's definitely for me. I think it's for all men.
What is the book? Tell us about it.
The Way of the Superior Man.
Okay. Tell me, what are you getting out of this book?
One thing that I'm getting out of it is that it's calling me on my bullshit.
Yeah.
It's calling me on my bullshit. And it made me take a look in the past and allow me to see myself for who I was and how my wife saw me, because a lot of the things that it mentioned a woman doing, I experienced firsthand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you recall anything like specific that you were like, let's see. So my concern was, I think I said it to you, right? Was that this is a pretty advanced book. And it's a little foo-foo, spirity kind of energy flow. Where there's a lot of that shit to it. It's kind of a hard concept for a lot of guys. Did you have difficulty? Did you dig it? Was it difficult at first?
Yeah,
Talk to us about that.
Dealing with masculine energy from a woman is difficult.
Yeah.
For a masculine man, or a man that thinks he's masculine, but he is really showing feminine tendencies or feminine traits or beta traits. And, it allowed me again to see what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what I did wrong.
What would you say was the number one thing? And I don't want to say it's wrong. Let's use the word productive, right?
Okay.
Because I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I just think you probably realize some of the behaviors that you had were not productive to the outcomes you wanted.
Correct.
Like you didn't want to be with a masculine woman, I'm guessing, because I know
Correct.
you.
Correct.
But some of the things that you did caused results for a masculine woman. Would you say that's fair?
Fair.
Yeah. And so I wouldn't say that's wrong behavior. I would just say that's not the behavior you want because that's not the outcome you want. And so I think what that book really teaches a lot of guys is about that masculine and feminine polarity and how it always exists, and it must exist in order to have a highly charged experience, right, with a woman in that way. So, okay, here's what I'm curious. How many chapters have you gotten through that book, would you say?
Chapter 40?
Chapter 40. Okay, and you did that all like inside of a week, right?
Yes.
Easy, right?
In it.
In it, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, because you thought it was really meaningful.
Yes.
You thought it was worth the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, we get guys here that we actually recommend that book to later down the road. It's a very advanced book on the list of books that we got. And that's, guys listening, that's called the sidebar. And that sidebar contains a list of books. And those books are there because they're proven to help change the mindset of men from being victims and having very feminine type behaviors, and understanding if you do have feminine type behaviors, like this will be the result. Like these are the methods. You can go use this paintbrush and this paint, and you can go paint anything you want. But just be aware, like the colors don't change.
And it also says to enjoy your friend's criticism as well.
Yeah, that should probably, be very top on the list of any man.
Yeah.
Of having men you can trust.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Of men that will say, hey, man, I can't say this in an easy way.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is. I know we'll still be friends after. We may not talk for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're probably not going to want to talk to each other for a few days after this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or maybe it just happens in a, we're passing a bottle of scotch around.
Mm-hmm.
And it just comes out. And you're like, fuck, man, I know. Like, you got to be able to take down that piece.
Mm-hmm.
And have it with other men you respect. That's the other part. Like, you just can't do that with any guy.
Correct.
It's got to be a guy you respect in some regard. He doesn't have to be a true alpha male for you to have respect for him. It surely probably helps. But, there are guys that are talented everywhere. And so sometimes when I get this question a lot, which is, how do you navigate after going through this transformation of wanting to even remotely spend time with your old friends that you had that are super beta, right? And my response to that is like, I can draw a line of distinction there, right? Those guys can still provide me value. They will not be able to call me on my bullshit. I got to go find another guy for that, right? They just won't. They're not living in the same matrix as me. You see what I'm saying?
Not even qualified.
Yeah, they're just not qualified to call you on your bullshit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't hang out with them and play Dungeons and Dragons if that's your gig.
Go axe throwing or something.
Axe throwing? Yeah, I saw you did some axe throwing. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. All right. Well, what I would say, Prax, I'm going to hand it over to you. You've been a little silent because I haven't flipped it to you. But any departing words before we end the live stream tonight?
Yeah, I mean, all of these guys, it sounds like one of the biggest problems the majority of them have is that that they suck and don't have friends. Because the fact that they have to come onto some online forum just indicates to me that their social lives suck so bad that they don't have anybody. I mean, that's the same reason I got here. No shame in it, but that's definitely a significant hole that a majority of these guys have, is that there's nobody in their life that's addressing this crap.
Yeah, there's a void there. There's a lot of reasons for that, I suppose. Yeah, we probably just want to blame men for it, right? Daddy wasn't around, whatever that is. But, look, I mean, they are where they are. And tonight we actually got a lot of guys that were pretty new to the process. And you can kind of see, there's some consistencies between these guys. The first guy started out telling his whole fucking life story. and nobody cares about your fucking Batman origin story. Nobody cares about it. You're just here. We're just another dude. Like, you want some help or not? And you're not even really doing it for help. You should be doing it to hold yourself accountable, right? We're not your accountable buddy. Like, nobody's accountable buddy. I figure I want to spend time wisely with other guys that can be their own accountable buddies. You don't need me for that. But okay, it's been fun, everyone. I hope everyone had a really great evening hanging out with us. Thank you to all the folks that were on the live stream. Really, really enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you probably, I would say, in 2 weeks. Thanks again.